You might be familiar with the MySubaru app. A lot of people use this to remotely start their car, and that of course is probably one of the primary reasons most people get this app for their Subaru to begin with. But let me show you some other really cool things that this app does that most people don't even realize they can do. So not only can you remote start with the MySubaru app, but you also have some other really cool capabilities. As an example, let's start out with vehicle status. So at the top of the app, you'll see it highlighted in red on my app. Typically this is highlighted in green, but I've got two issues that need to be addressed. So if we click on that, you'll see it says tire pressure is low, one tire is low, and one window is open. So if we click on view, that will pull this up. It tells us that the passenger front tire is low, and if we scroll down, you'll see that it's reading out at 24 psi, and the recommended is 35 psi for the front tires. It also shows you what's recommended for the rear, which is 33 psi. So kind of cool. And then on the window alert, it tells me that the passenger side rear window is left open. Now let me show you this, because this actually is a real scenario that happened with my Subaru. I was out with some friends and somebody was in my back seat. They had just left the back window slightly cracked like you see here, and I didn't know right away, but I ultimately got a notice on the app that one of the windows was left open, and I was able to go roll it up before there was anything that could happen, like rain or something that would get in there. So kind of nice that I had that information pretty quickly, so I didn't find out when it was too late. And not only do you have the vehicle diagnostics tab, you also have your next maintenance interval in the app. So it'll tell me I'm coming up on my 54,000 mile service and what is going to be recommended for that service: tire rotation, oil and filter, and inspect the engine coolant. So it'll show you at a high level of what kind of service is going to be due when it comes due. And then you'll notice in the middle there's also, just as a quick side note, if there's any recalls or campaigns going on, it will show you if there's any sort of recalls. Early on with my 23 Subaru Outback, I had the DCM replaced under recall. So that's the system that communicates with Starlink and actually works to use this app to begin with. So without that, it wouldn't communicate with the app to do some of those remote services that I wanted to use. Also, it never fails. I'll be out somewhere and I suddenly can't remember whether or not I locked my car. And what's really nice with the app is you can just simply click on lock and it'll send the lock to the car pretty instantaneously. You'll see it loading on the app, and then pretty quickly, just a few seconds later, you hear it beep because it locked and set the alarm. If you're like me and you have a car that looks practically like everybody else's, I have a white car, and I have some people tell me they do not like white cars because they just blend in with everybody else's cars in the parking lot, and then they can't find their car, which, yeah, I get it. That is a thing that can happen if your car doesn't have anything to differentiate itself from others. But the cool thing about this app is that you have the ability to locate your car in a parking lot. Now, I know that probably sounds silly to some people. I'm not typically using it in the grocery store or shopping centers or smaller parking lots, but mainly in scenarios where I'm in a very large parking lot, or I've been somewhere for a really long time and I don't remember exactly where I parked. Maybe I'll have an idea, but I don't know exactly where I'm at. So you can use this vehicle locator within the app. It'll show you street view or satellite view, and you can zoom in and it'll show you pretty close to where you are actually parked at. And then to go one step further, you can even click the bottom right arrow to send directions to your phone, so you can have walking or driving directions to the car if you can't find it. I know here's a couple scenarios where, you know, I know it's getting warm out, people are traveling, they're going to maybe amusement parks. We have Holiday World near us, or even Kentucky Kingdom as some of our closer amusement parks, and they have massive parking lots. That's where this vehicle locator can be really helpful. And then of course, yeah, if you combine that with remotely starting your car before you even get in, you'll be able to cool the car down on those really hot summer days before you even get to the car. So that has been another really helpful situation with that vehicle locator. Or if you're in a big city, you park somewhere and you can't remember where you parked. We've used that in cities like Chicago, where we kind of lose our car in a parking garage, and this will help us find it. Another thing you might think of when trying to find your car in a big parking lot is just simply taking your key fob and clicking that alarm button to set off the alarm to hopefully hear where your car is at. And that's all fine and good, except for the fact that the key fob has range limitations. So if you're within, a couple hundred feet, that may not work. And that's where the app will come in handy, because then instead of doing the key fob, you can actually do the same thing from the Subaru app by clicking on the horn and lights at the bottom of the app. So if you click on that, it'll give you the option to do the horn and the lights, or just the lights by themselves, maybe if it's dark out and you want to try to find your car using the lights only. And the cool thing about the app is that it'll work practically anywhere, given that you have cell phone service. So if you're going to do remote start, remote lock or unlock, or trying to locate your car, you can do that all through the app without having to worry about range. Like I said, as long as you have cell phone service, that should work. But I almost forgot, one other really cool feature you can do with the Subaru app is the ability to get it downloaded on your smartwatch. Now, I have an Apple Watch, so I don't know how it is for other watches, but at least with the Apple Watch, you can do remote start, you can lock and unlock your doors, all from your watch without having to get your phone out. Once you have the app downloaded, it's really easy to sync up with your Apple Watch. You just select the MySubaru app from your Apple Watch, then go to your app on your phone, the Subaru app on your phone, and then sync them up. Takes just a couple seconds. It's pretty easy to do, but once you have this set up, it'll make it even easier the next time you want to go remote start your car. And this last thing I'm going to show you in the app is one that I actually don't personally use, but I've had a lot of customers of mine share with me that they have younger drivers in their household that they have used this feature on, so it's kind of cool. If you are not the only one driving your car, maybe somebody is borrowing your car, within the app in the bottom right, you will see the option to select set driver alerts. And this is where you can set boundary alerts to keep tabs on where your car is being driven, speed alerts to keep track of how fast the car is being driven, and then lastly, curfew alerts. So if the car's been started after a curfew time that you set, you will know from the app. And this will send you notifications anytime one of those alerts goes off. And if you weren't already aware, if you have the app and you want other people in your household to have access to the same remote capabilities, you don't have to pay for an extra subscription for them to have access to that. All you simply have to do is go within the app. On the top right, you're going to see menu. So you'll select menu, then select my profile. From there, select security settings, authorize users, and then add authorized user. This is where it'll have you put in your password, and then you can select to add them through their email. They'll have their own login credentials, so you won't have to share the same username and password. So as you can see, the Subaru app does a lot of different things. I hope you all have learned something new in this video. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the Subaru app. Is this something that you use on your car, or were you even aware that it existed? Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.